Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pepper. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the bear cave, the Lego, the scythe emote in the chat. So if you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes or you can just say hi. Good evening, Dirty, who says evening bear cave, left a photo on the Discord of my stream snack. Ooh, I will take a look at that when the stream is over. Thank you very much. And thanks for posting on Discord. It's always nice to see. But yeah, Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Right now we are a little light as far as viewers, but hopefully more will join us in this intro portion of the stream. One would hope we get a few more friends coming in. If not, that's okay. If we do get some more friends, that would be great. But as always, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to build a model kit. I would be building model kits anyway, so the option to be able to talk to y'all, if you watch it live, you watch it later on Twitch in the VODs, if you watch it on YouTube after the fact, anyway you watch these, I appreciate you very, very much. And it's also nice just to do it, because like I said, I do this on my own and listen to podcasts or whatever, but this is way more fun. Tonight's stream, I will be discussing and hearing your input. We will be talking about a couple manga that I have checked out. I've not read all of, but I've read a little bit. We will also discuss the weird career, specifically the world title career of one Christian Cage, aka Christian. We'll talk about that because it's wild, and I didn't think about it until someone pointed out. I think Ross Sapp pointed out how weird his title reigns are, and then his world title reign specifically. And then we'll also, I'm going to turn my mic down just a little bit because I am peeking all over the place. Am I peaking? I'm peaking way less now, so that's good. Still loud, but not peaking as much. We will also discuss just the general nature of doing yard work and how it fucking sucks and I hate it because it's hot and humid out and I don't want to be doing this stuff. Who knew that palm trees required so much maintenance? I certainly didn't, and I don't like it because they're prickly and it's annoying to get up in there. But I've had to do that because we have three pines in our backyard and one in our front yard. The back ones all needed work, and I was not pleased to be doing it. But I did some of that today, and I've done that this week, along with like the usual lawn care of like mowing the yard and like I don't know what else. Yeah, like cleaning up stuff, edging the where the grass and lawn meets the driveway or the curb, and trying to clean that up. Making things look nice and sharp. I've been doing a bunch of that stuff. It's fine, except it's hot and humid out, and I don't want to. Let's see. We're gonna get going and start building here in a moment or two. I'm just going to give some time for some people to be fashionably late, but if they're not going to show up fashionably late and they're just going to be legitimately late, that's also okay. And as always, you don't have to watch the whole stream. You can come and go as you please. You can pop in, pop out. It's totally cool. I do like it when people are here at the beginning of the stream so that the number goes up from one viewer, which is just Nightbot, to more than one viewer, which is a few of you watching. That's always cool to see. And before we get into the actual building, as always, just going to mention that we are currently at 43 out of 50 subscribers. The goal is to hit 50. 50 is a goal where I would feel like I'm definitely getting a good payout every month, and I'm feeling okay about that. 43, currently not there yet. Would like to get that. Hi, Aristoban. Welcome, welcome. Happy to see you as always. So yeah, we're currently at 43 out of 50 subscribers. The goal is to hit 50. Would love to do that. If we don't, it's okay. It's okay. But that's just, a little bit of encouragement. Okay, I'm going to retweet my tweet, see if we can get some friends to join us, because that would be rad. And let's go to the overhead. We are currently working on the Crossbone X2 Ver.ka, so the second edition of the Crossbone Gundam, and the Ver.ka, the alternate, which in this case means it is a different color scheme. We're going with very dark blue and with purple and gold highlights, which is just mwah. Look at that. Look at that kit in the photo there. And then also, I posted this on Twitter and mentioned it in the last stream on Monday. We also got ourselves, oh boy, we got a cloth cape. That's right, this kit has a cape, and we're going to be putting that cape on at some point so that our cool Gundam has a cape, like a pirate, because it's pirate themed. Also, it's got a skull. It's got a skull on the head. It's got a cool skull right on the head. This kit is just cool. The colors are great. This is a kit from the year 2013 that was reissued. Um, so it is not an update. It is not with modern printing techniques and better instructions. It is just the 2013 kit again, which I did not get in 2013 because I did not know that model that I'm going to admit this. In the year 2013, I didn't realize that there was other ways to get model kits outside of going to a store and going on like eBay. Which so I did find some kits in there, but they were always really expensive. I didn't I didn't even think about the fact that in Japan there was something like Premium Bandai, which obviously we didn't in 2013. That wasn't certainly accessible here, but that there were limited kits that came out in a limited time that were just never going to show up in the United States. Just it had not occurred to me that that was a thing that was going to go on. So I wouldn't have bought this kit in 2013, but now in the year 2021 and sometime in January or February, I believe, this was a no-brainer pre-order. It was just like, oh, this kit looks rad, and I'm gonna get it. There was another Crossbone that they put up for pre-order that I did also think was cool, but I went with this one because it's a pirate-themed Gundam that's in like dark blue and purple and gold. I'm gonna get it. Look at this purple. Look at this gorgeous purple. Unbelievably beautiful. Look at those colors together. So nice. So we're going to be working on that. Very excited to be working on that kit. And of course, I'm also excited about to see all of y'all and to hang out with all of you. And I talked a bit in the intro portion of the stream as we get in here. We're going to put the pieces that we've already built aside as we continue to assemble some pieces. I already talked to y'all a little bit about, just like lawn and maintenance stuff and like lawn maintenance and how I'm like very much over it. I've said this, I am a broken record about this. It has quickly become clear in the past year plus that even if someday I am a homeowner, I am not the kind of homeowner who is going to, be watering their lawn every day and mowing once a week and like having a bunch of different trees and plants that all and flowers and plants that all need different kinds of uh, maintenance. That's just never going to be me. That's just not going to be my style. um, I now know that, and I will say I don't think I necessarily knew that before I moved here, and it became such a big part of my day and week. Like I water the back pots at the house. We've got potted plants in the back of the house in the backyard. I water those every day. And then also every day in a later time of the day, I water all of the potted and some of the planted big plants and bushes in our front yard. And that's every day. And I don't want to do it. And I'm happy to do it. Here's the thing. It's a two-way thing, right? On the one hand, I'm thrilled to take some responsibility and need to do it away from my folks and to take on that responsibility because they are being incredibly generous in helping me live and exist. So I am thrilled and happy to be able to help them. I want to make that clear. But on the other side, I don't care about these plants. While I want to do a good job, it is a weird thing where I want to do a good job, but I don't. I only want things to work out and the results to be good because I don't want to keep doing the results, and that is very strange. That has become a very strange thing for me, where I'm like, oh, does this look? Are these plants healthy? Good. Then I don't have to care about it. I don't have to work any harder. Oh, these plants aren't healthy. Okay, what do I need to do to make sure they are? And I'm just like, look, friends, I'm just over it. I guess that's what it is. I'm over all of that. Uh, I love that I do not have to shovel because there will be no snow, and that is great. But yeah, I'm just like, all right, just kind of all right about all of this. Let's see, what else did I want to say? I mean, there's a lot to talk about tonight. Um, hey, let's just get into this thing. Um, so, if you are not a wrestling fan or someone that follows, if you used to follow the products and you don't anymore, um, a thing happened in professional wrestling that is very interesting. Um, to set the stage, there are a few things I must tell you or remind you. The first one being that there is a company called AEW, All Elite Wrestling. They have a championship. There's another company called Impact Wrestling, and they used to be called TNA, Total Nonstop Action. TNA and Impact are the same company, but also not the same company. They're like a continuation of the company, so the history of that company continues, but they have a different name. But it's not a rebranding. It's just a continuation. It's a very strange thing. But those are the things you need to understand. So Kenny Omega is the current world champion at AEW. And because of some cross promotion between brands and other weirdness that is definitely unusual, he was also able to challenge for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship, which is also the TNA. It's both, just because they couldn't say what they actually meant by TNA. Yes, because Total Nonstop Action also means the other TNA and whatever. And then they tried to say they were putting the wrestling back in professional wrestling because WWE wasn't going to call it wrestling. They were going to call everything sports entertainment. They're like, well, we like wrestling, so we're calling it wrestling. And that was like a nonsense excuse for the fact that they had to change the name for other reasons. So they were just like, yeah, that's why we did it. It's because we love wrestling. And and I'm not saying they don't love wrestling, but I'm also saying that wasn't the reason. Anyway, so Kenny Omega is the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. He was also the TNA/Impact champion. So he had both belts, or all three belts, whatever. He had both companies' main title. And that's weird. And then there have been some people that have, challenged him for the AEW title, and there have been some people who've challenged him for the TNA championship. And most of the time, it's been like, if you're in this company, you challenge for that. If you're in this other company, you challenge for that. That didn't happen this week. This week, they had a new program, a Friday night program. And to help promote it, they were like, Kenny Omega is going to defend the TNA World Championship against Christian Cage. Now, this was where I explain a bit. You may know the name Christian if you followed wrestling in the late 90s. He and Edge and the WWE, WWF/WWE, were tag team champions. They helped revolutionize the modern glory days of tag team wrestling, with its own unique, beautiful style, heavy hitting style. They were at the forefront of that. And Edge would go on to be a world champion and highly regarded and break out on his own. And Christian did well. He did well, but he took a long time for him to get to the top, and people always thought that was weird. And in fact, he left for a while, and he left for a while because the top of the card just wasn't in the picture for him, and he could sense that. He knew that. He was in some instances blatantly told that, like, it's never going to happen. So he left, and he went to TNA/Impact. He went to that company, and he became their world champion. And which was great. He also became the NWA World Champion in TNA. With the NWA is the National Wrestling Alliance. He became the NWA champion while he was in Impact. And then later, he went back to the WWE. And he eventually won the World Heavyweight Championship, which is a belt that was in the WWE, but also was originally created by the NWA and was for a very long time the WCW uh, main title. Christian won that in WWE. And then this Friday, he won the Impact World title while a member of the roster of AEW, which is a weird thing. He's also a former ECW champion, but not the original ECW, the relaunch of ECW that happened by WWE when they relaunched their own version of ECW. He became their champion, and he also, yeah. So and now he is that. So his career of being a world champion is in WWE. He won the original WCW belt. He won the NWA World Title in Impact slash TNA. He won the Impact slash TNA Championship while in AEW, and he won the ECW title, but it was the WWE's version of it. That is it's just fucking weird. It's just weird that he has won all of these weird titles while not in the like he wasn't an NWA member when he won that. He wasn't part of the National Wrestling Alliance. He just won their belt. He it's so strange. The WCW heavyweight slash NWA heavyweight is a little strange. But that lineage does get confusing, but it still counts as this weird abnormality. But it's very strange for a guy that according to the dirt sheets for many years, is a dude that Vince McMahon wanted to digitally alter his face on television so that because he just thought that Christian was an ugly gentleman, which is just such a just a really weird thing. Continues to be a weird thing. But yeah, it's a very strange piece of wrestling lore now that continues, but it is also like just a strange thing that so Christian has a lot of history in TNA, as I said, Impact and TNA, to the point where like they were the place that really he first really became the guy instead of just a guy. A place that was thrilled to have him there and had him be a champion, and we're proud of him being their champion. And it's very interesting that he's now has those titles again. Uh, it's just kind of I don't know. I find it cool. I like that. Um, seems like a good dude. Happy for him. But yeah, worked very hard for a very long time, and then it's like, okay, he did it. That's cool. I don't know. Also, I tried to watch Rampage, which is the new AEW show, and it was hard to watch. And some people said they are totally cool with it, and they even liked it. And I will say, for my part, a four man announce team is at least one too many people. Um, you don't need three different analysts, all of who, when you have a play by play, you got a play by play who's a former wrestler, never really did huge, but well regarded play by play is great. And then to have three color commentary people is just too many dudes. Because you have veterans of the business in Taz, I mean all of them, but to have somebody who's on the roster as a wrestler, Chris Jericho, who can talk, you don't need Chris Jericho in there. I guess you could have Mark Henry, but if you also let me just be very clear, Excalibur and Taz are all you need for a successful booth in AEW. Those two have such a great rapport and work so well together that it is totally unnecessary to have other people. And they're like, oh well, Mark Henry's going to be doing some. Mark Henry will definitely be doing a lot more interviews and stuff. He won't always be in there. And it's like, well, then don't have him there. And they're like, oh, well, Chris, Jericho is just there, sometimes. He won't be there all the time. And it's like, well, then don't have him there. What are you doing? saying that you have Chris Jericho on the show, if that's all you want is to promote by having Chris Jericho on the show, then just have Chris Jericho wrestle on the show. You don't need to have him in the booth, where you can't see him. I haven't watched. It comes out on a bad time for me as I tried to watch it today, but it turns out I recorded the SD channel. Yeah. Well, that sucks, Slashbrook. As far as the program goes, it was fine. Like there was some good shit. Um, uh, and some good, they like signed a few people or signed somebody officially that they should have signed a while ago. Uh, but yeah, I mean, like, there's still some good stuff. I just think the four-person team is wholly and totally unnecessary. Whatever. Um, all right, let's see. We'll get that there. We'll get that there. Uh, anyway, it's cool they signed a hater. Yeah, I think that's neat. I do think that's neat. And Fuego del Sol, I think, is a cool acquisition. Who has been, doing stuff and seems to be well liked by the crowd, which is great. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's cool that they brought in some people. It's fun. Um, let's see. Um, I am really worried that because Mark Henry made a statement because he's got his radio stuff, so he was like talking about like how seeing Sting go kind of convinces him that he can get one more match, and I was just like, that is not what you should be taking away from Sting's performances. Is Mark Henry? Uh, I mean, he still has a larger than life presence, and that's rules, but. No, I think it's cool. I think it's cool, Mark. I don't think you don't have to worry about getting in there, buddy. You did a lot, and we all appreciate it, but I don't know about that. Anyway, I'm doing a lot of arm parts here, and it's all coming together. I just want to talk about wrestling a little bit. I don't know. I'll go and retweet my tweets, see if we can get the word out there a little bit. Maybe we'll get a few more friends to come by. That would be cool. If not, that's also okay. I think that's totally all right. If this is a chill evening stream, as it were. The only thing about it being a chill evening stream is it feels like we've had a bunch of chill evening streams lately, and I would like to have a busy uh, evening stream. That would be pretty cool if we could get like. I'd be okay with it being a little hectic. I'll say that. Wouldn't mind a little bit of a hectic vibe here and there. Especially because, I'm working on a kit that I think fucking rules. I really love this kit. I think it is fantastic looking. So I would love to have more people checking it out. But as always, of course, very happy you're all here. Thank you very much. Let's see. Today I recorded a video that will go live on Monday, the next episode of the Pat Bear's Anime Club. Happy about that. And yeah, I think that video turned out good. I'm excited about that. Okay, now we can get some of these arm pieces together, and then we'll just like kind of do a quick panel line. This dark blue like doesn't really pick up the colors, the marker anyway, so it's not really super necessary. But I do like the panel line because it'll pop here and there. All right, so we'll get like these lower parts of the arm done here. Gotta get K. Oops. Get K4. C3. C3 is nice purple. And K4 is, oh yeah, we're here. Great. We'll get this all together. All right, so let's talk about some manga, I guess. I guess we can talk about a little bit of manga. Oh, Dirty asks question here. Um, Dirty asks, thank you for using channel points. Where do you stand on the sauce versus dry rub debate? To me, there isn't a debate, in my personal opinion, that there are certain meats that are better dry rubbed, and there are certain meats that are better, and cuts of meat, I should say, not just meats, cuts of meats that are better slathered in sauce and constantly and checked again and basted in sauce. If you got pork ribs, Oh, I want that covered in a barbecue sauce, and not too vinegary. I want that covered in like a thick, sugary barbecue sauce, like just basted in it. If you're gonna hand me a brisket, ooh, I'm gonna dry rub that brisket. I'm gonna age that brisket in a dry rub, have it penetrate through that, and then I'm gonna slow cook that. That's how I'm gonna do that. Chicken, I like my chicken slathered in sauce. I don't necessarily like a dry rub. Turkey, I like a brine turkey. I think it really does depend on the meat and the cut of meat. Uh, I have enjoyed pork, like a pork shoulder or pork tenderloin, both ways. Um, there's some pork that, yeah, that I think is fantastic with sauce, and I think there's some pork that is like the dry rub is the only way to go. I will say this. Here is my strong opinions. Um, I want to add. I want you to add spice after the fact. I don't want you to prepare it. I don't want I don't want that hot chicken. I don't want hot chicken. I want well seasoned, good quality chicken. And then if you're like if you tell me this chicken is really spicy, I'm going to tell you I'm good, thank you though, because I don't want it. I don't want your spicy chicken. I just don't. There's just nothing about that that appeals to me in any way, shape, or form. Uh, so I think that's like where my strongest opinions lie is in the hot chicken of the fact that I do not I have zero interest in hot chicken like that. You know, prepared in that way. Um, you're like, oh, we made this spicy shrimp. I'm gonna say, cool, enjoy your spicy shrimp. Um, that's just me. That's my temperament. I think those are where my my own quote unquote hottest takes lie. My hot takes on hot chicken, in that I don't want it. I prefer not to have it. But yeah, I mean, like that's the thing, right? You know, eat stuff the way you want to eat it. I've eaten big, big ribs that spare ribs that have been done in really slowly uh, and delicately for a long time, dry aged that I think have been a dry rubbed, I should say, that have been fantastic. I've also eaten ones that were just like slathered in sauce, slow roasted, come back in, slathered in sauce, slow roasted, come back in, slathered in sauce, and I have totally appreciate that as well, and have totally enjoyed that too. I think I am just I guess I should say to wrap up this question, which Lashbrook, thank you very much for asking that question. Um, if it's well prepared, that's the best thing. The best thing possible is to prepare it well, do a good job with it, and I think that's all the difference. One thing I'll say about down here, you think there is a barbecue culture, but there's not a fried chicken culture, and I am bummed about that. I think that it is surprisingly and weird that I have had way more fried chicken in Brooklyn, New York than I have in this area of South Carolina. Uh, Lasberg says, not I. Lasberg, elaborate if you would like. You are under no obligation to do so. But yeah, um, I would have thought there'd be more fried chicken around here, but there isn't. There's lots of fried beef products and pork products, but there's or and cooked, well cooked and roasted and barbecued and grilled and all that. But just like nobody wants fried chicken. There's apparently one very good place, but it's expensive and I haven't been there. And I would like to. Okay, so these portions of the arms are done. So we're just gonna hit this with the black marker a little bit, and we'll clean that up. Uh, oh, did I say last week? Did I say thank? Did I thank you instead of thanking Dirty? Well, that's just my own ignorance. Thank you very much, Dirty, for asking that question. I'm sorry that I said Lastbrook asked it. I was looking at Lastbrook's line above yours when I said that. So I apologize for that, the last chat comment. So thank you very much, Dirty, for asking that question. I appreciate it. So let's see. What should I say now? Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking for some fried chicken, some good fried chicken. That is the thing that would fill me up, make me happy. Lashbrook can have recognition for it. Well, thank you, Dirty. Appreciate your kindness. All right, so we got these parts of the arm done here. Now it's the part to do. We're going to take this off here. Now we're going to do the right arm first, then we'll do the left arm. And some of this is done already, and some of this just needs to be connected. Connect that, and then we're going to connect. Oh no! All right, I need D8 first. Yeah, we're going to do one arm, and then we'll do the other arm. Just kind of build it there. Um, okay, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some manga that I've been reading. You know, like I've been saying, I've been just kind of checking out a few things here and there, reading stuff that like the first chapter is free on an app, or if there is a deal going on, if it's very inexpensive. You know, I don't want to buy a lot of stuff on Bookwalker. I certainly don't want to buy stuff if I haven't like been introduced to it yet, and I don't know if it's something that I would appreciate, because you want to I don't mind taking a risk, but I also like want to find out if it's something I'm interested in. Uh, Dirty says, I'm full up now on short ribs that were, in my opinion, the best way, which is dry rubbed. I'm only a fan of sauce on chicken. Okay. See, I love boneless, not boneless. I love like baby back ribs slathered in sauce. That is a way to my heart. Is baby back ribs just completely drenched in a good barbecue sauce. If it has a little kick to it, I don't hate that. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. But yeah, slather it in sauce. Anyway, like I said, I've been buying some stuff on Bookwalker when there's like sales. I've got notifications that come up when things are good. But that's for stuff that I know I'm interested in, right? Like I am reading Kuma 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 Bear by volume. I really like the Kuma 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 Bear manga. I think it's interesting that they ran out of the show, chose to just adapt stuff from the light novel, which the manga hasn't gotten to yet. And I think that's interesting that I'm like, watching the anime, I'm ahead of the manga, which is always weird because they just, they just were like, well, we'll just go off the light novel. They were so tender, I was able to pull the bone out without any issue. Nice, Dirty. That's fun. If you don't want to work for it, you don't have to work for it. All right, let's get. I'm going to work on the hand for this kit here. So we'll do that now. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So I've been reading two things that I just kind of like tried out just to see if there's something I want to. One of them I wanted to see because it is a show that's coming out next season, and it's kind of fun to preview a show, like get to read before you see the show. And that is called "Banished from the Hero's Party. I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside." I believe this will be a Funimation show. Um, and it is described as a isekai slice of life. And that's an interesting point to make because very few shows, I would say, it's very rare that a slice of life isekai, like the Cheat Pharmacist that's out this season, they're usually capital I isekai, lowercase s, lowercase l, slice of life. They're like isekai forward, and they're just like a different kind of isekai. And that's very much what Banished from the Hero's Party is. It is, well, yeah, this guy was this, and now he's doing this, and there's some romance. But it's still like, there's still monsters that need to get slain. Um, like the Saint's power is omnipotent. Uh, the Saint's magic power was really like, okay, we're going to take this idea of, remind me, I don't know if you saw, but I saw a news story about Verve coming along with the Crunchyroll sale. Yes, the company that owns Crunchyroll also owns Verve. So people were saying that we everyone keeps saying Crunchyroll, Crunchyroll. They mean Elevation got bought. Elevation, who owns Crunchyroll and Verve, got bought in this deal. But it's easier to say the same thing we would say Blizzard and not Vivendi. They bought Blizzard. They didn't buy. They bought Vivendi, but they bought Blizzard. that's a similar thing. So that isn't surprising to me. I did not read the article about that, the news story about that, but yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, so uh, the premise of banished from the hero's party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside, which I have written down because fuck if I'm going to be able to remember all that. The basic premise of is so this is a world of magic and sorcery and all the stuff you would expect it to be. There's a hero, and the hero coming in to fight the demon lord with a party. That's that's an accomplished thing, right? Heroes are born with an innate magic ability, like an unbelievable magic ability and processes, right? Uh, but they are still level one. They could still die. They just have some like unbelievable powers, and they will level up and grow, and they will become incredible. But they don't. They just start off with potential. Maybe they'll just add Funimation back to the Verve player again at some point, which would be great. Yeah, nobody fucking knows what that's going to be. If it's going to be like fake competition, if the libraries are going to go, if your account works on both, if they will be separate catalogs, but you have access to both, and suddenly your Funimation account can be linked to your Crunchyroll account, and it'll just work. No, but nobody knows what's going on with that. Um, uh, if Verve will continue to have high dive or not, nobody knows what any of that stuff is going to be. Anyway, so there's a hero, right? The hero needs guidance. So the hero gets partied up with somebody who is there to be a trainer, and this person is born with a lot of levels and natural experience, and their job is to protect the hero and train the hero as they go, but they're about the same age. And that's what our main character, who goes by the name Red, is. Well, the thing is, he's not the hero. He was there to train the hero, and he was in the hero's party. Eventually, everybody caught up to him. They just caught up to his cheat ability. Iron says, "How tall is the crossbone compared to the RG new?" I don't know. Uh, the RG, the real grade new, is going to be a 144 scale, but I don't know how tall a new is. This is a 1/100 scale. The Crossbone manga Crossbone is not the tallest master grade out there, but it's not short. And I can't give you anything more specific than that, Ironhide. I can't compare. I can't compare this kit, which I haven't finished building, to the size of a kit that I never built. Um, yeah, so sorry, I don't know. Um, anyway, so that's interesting, right? So like eventually he's just not everybody just outshines him. He's not as strong, but he's still part of the hero's party because he has experience. He has a combat experience. He knows how the world works. He knows what their talents are. He can kind of like support from the back line. But hi, yes. Also, by the way, yes. Yeah. So sorry. Yeah, I don't know how tall it is compared. Uh, but yeah, so he's got all the experience, and then they're like, okay, well, you got to go. You got to leave the party. And so he gets kicked out of the party. It's definitely that it's because a dude in the party is jealous of him and his relationship with the hero. It's definitely part that this dude like wants to marry the hero at some point, which will help himself politically. But yeah, there's some shit. And so our dude Red is just like, okay, well, I guess what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the outskirts of town and just hide out. I'm gonna try to sell potions and just kind of like live a quiet life. Maybe I'll open up a shop, and I still got skills, so out here in the boonies, I can like be useful. Uh, and pretty immediately, he has a run in with somebody. Did I write her name down? Uh, No. Oh yeah, I think her name is Lit. I can't remember. Yes, Lit. She is a she was briefly in the hero's party, so she's a very strong, capable fighter. But she wasn't like officially in the party. They just teamed up a little bit, and she like developed a crush on Red. It's very clear that she developed the feelings for him, and so she's like, "Hey, I'm in hiding right now for my own shit that's happening. How about I hang out here and help you out?" And so she decides she's going to live there and work. And they have this nice, slow, quiet, lovely little romance. It seems like that's where it's going. And again, I haven't read a lot of it. I've just read a little bit because I was interested in the premise of the anime that's about to come out. So I wanted to read a little bit of Banished from the Heroes Party. I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside. Um, but also, there's still like a global conflict happening, and the demon lord hasn't been defeated, and so like there's still like shit, and there's like local conflicts happening, and like some dumb stuff that they get caught up in, and like intrigue and espionage, and like monsters that need to get slain. So it's not done, it's not over, and it's not a full slice of life. Like it's not a romance show slice of life that happens to have like a hero. Um, and I'm wondering a question I am wondering is this going to be is the anime going to tone it down? Like the anime um, toned down the Kuma Bear, toned down the violence. And in fact, cut characters out just because they were like, oh, we don't need to worry about that story. That story has a lot of violence in it. We're just going to skip these couple chapters and we'll go on, move on. Oh, uh, I guess mild spoilers for Kuma Bear. In the anime, she defeats this guy that wants revenge on the king and the kingdom, and she just like shows up and punches him once and knocks him out. Well, in the manga, she defeats all of the monsters that this dude summoned, and then the king just murders the guy and just murders him. He's imprisoned in one version, and in the other, he's just straight up murdered. And you know, for the hey, thank you so much. Aristophan just gifted 2 subs, so welcome to Delta Head, Yasmin, and Windle 1725. Thank you so much, Aristophan, for gifting those subs. Welcome, friends. That's so nice. I can't wait for Yasmin to see that. That's awesome. AKA Delta Head, a friend in real life. But yes, thank you so much, Aristophan. Yeah, let's throw the Bear Cave Lego Scythe on there. And we're up to 45 subscribers out of 50, which is great. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. Yeah, Kuma Bear, like, cut a lot of that. There are characters who aren't introduced in, what do you call it? The manga version of, By the Grace of the Gods. There's a lot more murder. Like, it's implied that he ran into bandits in the anime, and in the manga, it's just straight up said that this 8-year-old murdered humans. Which is like, yeah, they were bandits and they were going to do bad stuff. But yeah, it's just like, oh, this little kid's a murderer. It's self-defense, but he's still a murderer. And it's like, whoa, okay. That stuff's toned down. So I could see this show toning down some of it. I don't know how they're going to tone down a lot of it because it seems like, as again, I haven't read all of it that's available, but it does seem like it's like it. I assume we just aren't going to cut to the hero's party and how they're dealing with stuff and how violent the hero is in reaction to the fact that she's been told that that her her big bro 8-year-old is actually 48. Yes, dirty. He is like in his 30s. The main character Ryoma is in his 30s, and like, but also, I don't think that dude, even though he's in his 30s and in the 8-year-old body, I still don't think that he was a murderer in his regular life. So he is like, you know what I mean? Like, it's still a lot to him just be like, oh yeah, and sometimes bandits have to die, and you're like, yeah, you're in the body of a kid, but you were also just like a like a 9 to 5 guy at, in Japan up until now. So it's still a strange thing where they're just like whatever. So yeah, Banished. Not sure if it's like going to be great. Not sure if it's going to be good. I did like what I read of it. I'm going to be watching next season because I do at least check out all of the isekai that come out and action shows. This is not an isekai, but it is an action show, and I like this a lot. Another manga that I read that I want to chat about a little bit is also the longest name I've ever seen for a light novel or a manga. I do fully believe that this title is actually the longest. And so I'm going to try to take a breath before I start working on more of this here, of these fingers and hands here. And I'm going to take a breath and then I'm going to try to say this full title. Welcome to the impenetrable Demon King's castle, Tilda, the black mage who got kicked out of the hero's party due to his unnecessary debuffs getting unwelcome. Damn it. Trying. Even longer than the Tsushima anime. I'm going to try it again. Welcome to the impenetrable Demon King castle, the black mage who got kicked out of the hero party due to his unnecessary debuffs gets welcomed by the top brass of the Demon King's army. There's also a tilde in there, as I said, the black mage. It's basically, welcome to the impenetrable Demon King castle. The black mage who got kicked out of the hero party due to his unnecessary debuffs gets welcomed by the top brass of the Demon King's army. That's the name of this manga and light novel that I have read 3 chapters of and think is an incredibly great premise. So, it's a fairly new series. I believe it's like a year and change. Here's the premise of this one. At this point, there's peace in the world. But people still like dungeons. And they still want a good versus evil. So they don't have TV. They do have some books, I think. But really what they have is the Dungeon Channel, where you can just watch hero parties take on dungeons filled with monsters and demons. And you don't die. You just, you can't play anymore. You basically get worked out and you're fine. You can get hurt, but you're not dead. And you watch and you cheer for these party members, right? These 5-person groups. I know you got your overpowered hero, you got your ranged weapon class, you got your support, you got your healer, and you got your buff person, right? And our dude is a black mage, which is because it is not flashy, because it is a support class that it doesn't even buff the team, it debuffs the opponents. It's not flashy, and nobody notices how important he is. Because you get these titles at birth. You get your job class at birth. And he wanted to be a hero. And turns out he's a black mage, which is not a quality thing. It's not a thing that people desire. So the number 4 group in the world at being, at doing these dungeons, they kick him out. And, like I said, he's it turns out very skilled. He can read the battlefield. He understands. He fills in the gaps. He moves people around. He gets a whole, because he's not in the back, he gets a whole view of what's going on. He's debuffing people and confusing people and kiting monsters. And he's doing all this stuff that he needs to do to support what's happening, and he doesn't get the credit for it. And then he gets recruited because somebody wants him to work for them. And the people that hire him are demons, and he's the first ever human working for the demon side. He's going to be a dungeon master or like a level boss in a dungeon. And he's got to, hide his identity because he was a hero, and he's going to pretend to be a demon. He's got like a mask and a horn. And it's the first time, like, people were like, no, you're incredible. We know how talented you are. And someone just goes, the demon lord, who's like a young lady, is like, you feel like my grandpa. And that's when this black mage realizes that the guy that trained him, his master, who he knew was a demon, was actually a former demon lord, which he didn't know. He had no idea that he trained the demon lord, who must have just been out and about and like found this kid who was a black mage and was like, well, it's hard to get trained as a black mage because people don't think it's important. So he got trained by like an incredibly powerful demon. So yeah, it's him making friendships with other demons so that he can summon them, and people are psyched about him. And like the real thing is, the thing that really pushes him is one. There's a nice demon lady that also works there that has been a big fan of his and like it kind of championed him in this role. And two, their goal is we would like you to become a hero for demon kind. This is a guy always he only wanted, it's a weird way to do it, but he always wanted to be a hero, and this is his chance because demons don't have a problem with dark magic. Like, why would they care if you're a black mage? That rules to them, and it's cool. Like I said, I've read 3 chapters of this. I don't know if I'm going to keep reading it. I don't know like where I'm going to go with it, but it's fucking cool. It's like a cool story, and it's I think it's told really well, and I'm super into it. And I just like I said, I love the premise of this guy who's just like, um, and they get a new the heroes party gets a new member, and they realize, oh shit, I think we're all like worse than we were before. And the new member is just like, hey, I don't know how this guy operated. I only know how you operate, but you say you're not working as well as you used to. Maybe that's because he's not there anymore. Uh, I don't know. It's cool. I think it's like a really cool story. Um, and I don't know. I was excited about reading it. So that is that I will probably end up trying to track more of that down. I don't know how much is out of it. I just read a couple issues, and now I'm gonna like investigate about getting more of it. I need F11. Um, so yeah, those are 2 manga that I've been reading. The next things that I'm going to be reading, probably that I want to check out is I wrote it down. Um, let's see. Oh yeah. There's a couple that seem kind of fun. Another one of a dude abandoning, or not abandoning, but like being forced to go out to the countryside. Kind of like the that is the strongest wizard becomes a countryside guardsman after taking an arrow to the knee. Uh, I love that someone took the arrow to the knee meme and made it into a light novel manga. I love that. I love that. I'm so surprised I haven't heard of this before now. But I just think that's such a funny idea of just being like, yeah, yeah, I took an arrow to the knee. And literally he did. While defeating the demon lord, this dude took a literal arrow to the knee, but it's cursed. So his knee won't heal. Magic won't fully heal it. So he can't be an adventurer anymore. And he's like an S rank, top of the heap adventurer. And they're like, do you know what year it came out? I don't know, Lastbrook. I'll look it up because I have the name here. I was again. I haven't read it other than description, but this feels like the next thing that I want to read because I just love the premise so much. Let's see. I'm getting how to just illegally read it, how to watch the light novels. I want to look this up on uh, not getting like a Wikipedia page. I'm just getting uh, all of the manga results. Let me just do wiki. See if I can get that. If that's going to give me any information. No, I'm just getting. Well, let me look at one of these pages here. This is great internet. Let's see. The first chapter was fan subbed. Sorry, fan scanned. The first one was scanned on the middle of 2019. That is not an indication of when the light novel. I can tell you the manga was first scanlated in 2019. I guess that's the most information I can give you about that. Um, and I just like the premise. I like the premise of like, dude is forced to retire and is like, well, I guess I'm gonna take this. And here's the thing, he's just get bogged down with stuff, and he's like, I can't go and do dungeons, so he takes a job being the guard at like a very far away village so that he will be left alone. And one would assume he's not left alone, otherwise there wouldn't be a story. But yeah, it seems like a fun premise. The other one is an isekai, is a summoning isekai called I Was Caught Up in it. I would say he's forced to retire. Well, so dirty, like, yeah, he just is forced to. He can't be the top hero anymore. He can't be an S rank dude or double S rank or whatever he is because he's constantly in pain in his knee and can't trust his body. So he just like takes a different job and goes into hiding. Um, which is what I guess that it's different. It's a different thing. He's basically like taking a low. He takes a low paid job. He's not doing the A plus stuff he used to do. He just takes like a remedial job in the country. He gets like like the kind of retired where you still have a job, you just have a different, less stressful job than you used to. That kind of retirement, unfortunately. I think that's kind of more of what it is. Um, the other one is I was caught up in a hero summoning, but the world is at peace, which is, if as far as I know, I haven't read any of this. I'm just looking. I was just looking for stuff to read um, and check out. This is a story of a dude who a hero is summoned for a festival for a year, but it's just mostly like to celebrate that like the anniversary of the hero being summoned. But we don't deal with that. The story is not about that character. That's just a dude that gets summoned. The problem is that accidentally three other people got summoned, and one of those three other people is our main character. So he's there. It's at peace. They don't need him to do anything, but he also isn't the hero. He's just a guy. Uh, but of course, he's not just a guy. He's I assume very special. I don't know. Again, I don't know the specifics of it. So I don't know. That seemed like kind of a fun idea. I like the idea of like the accidental summoning. I've read a few of those stories. So those are two I'm probably going to read. Maybe I'll check those out tomorrow from on Monday and talk about them. But I'm kind of in that like you've heard me. I'm been a bit of a kick of reading some fantasy manga. Um, I'm looking for more to check out. But yeah, hey Lord Cratchington, welcome, welcome. We're gonna take a pause for the cause in a moment, too, folks. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel, plug my videos, all that stuff. Right now, I want to get a couple pieces out here because we're gonna move on to the shoulders. Oh, Lord Cratchington wants me to ring the bell. I will certainly ring that bell. Thank you, Lord Cratchington. Thank you very much. There's that bell. Also, Dirty wants me to ring the bell, and I will. Thank you, Dirty. Appreciate that very much. Thank you for using your channel points. It's such a manner. All right, let's get these connected, and then we'll. We're going to be working on the shoulders here, so that we can finish the upper body portion of the kit, which will be rad. But yeah, I don't know. I've been on a manga kick. It's been kind of fun. Put them on my. I have my my iPad Mini. I put them on there full screen. Just kind of hold it sideways, scroll through. If the weather was cooler, I would sit outside. It's not, so I'm not gonna. Anyway, we're gonna talk about anime after our pause for the cause, but right now, it's pause for the cause time, my friends. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber, let's see the bear cave, the leg of the site, the emote in the chat. Let the people know that you are a subscriber, and that is a way to get some cool emotes. You don't see pre-roll ads when you come in. I really appreciate it. Everybody that is a subscriber, thank you for everybody subscribing. If you're new to the stream, this will be very short. I'm just going to talk about ways you can support the channel for a couple of minutes, and we'll get back into building. So thank you to everybody who is a subscriber. Again, thank you to Aristofan who gifted 2 subs tonight. If you were interested in becoming a subscriber using Cash Money or your Twitch Prime gaming token, I would love that very much. Also, if you want to gift a sub like Aristofan did to someone in the community, you can do it anonymously. You can know who exactly it is. You can just hit the random button. I would appreciate that very much. Thank you to everybody that's ever done that. Again, the goal is to hit 50 subscribers in the near future. I don't know if we will. If we don't tonight, that's okay. If we don't on Monday, that's okay. But by the end of the month, I would like to hit that 50 so that I have a good payout number next month because that money goes into buying model kits and equipment, as you know. Again, I'm going to talk fairly fast about ways you can support the channel. I'll get through this as fast as I can, but since I am not sponsored in any way by anybody, this is my attempt to try to encourage folks to support me in any way they can, including Patreon. I have a Patreon. If $5 on Twitch is not something you're interested in, but maybe $1 or $3 would be more your liking, I have a Patreon. Or $10 if you were like, that's not enough. But also, I don't need that one emote for at the $10 level. I get that. Maybe my Patreon is more to your liking. You can check that out there, patreon.com/PatBear. I have a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is pretty great. YouTube.com/PatBear. I put videos up. I have a new Wednesday video every week. Every other Monday, I put up a video. So you can go check that out. Also, you can join there. You can become a member and join there. And you get my Wednesday video on Tuesday every week. It's $2 a month. That's an option. If the other money wasn't good, that might be better. And also, I do have ways to directly donate. If that is something you're interested in doing, if a one-time, if you were like, Pat, I don't want to give you $5 a month on Twitch. I don't want to give you $3 a month on Patreon. Here's $6 right now. You could do that with Coffee and Streamlabs and PayPal. So those are options. And again, thank you so much for even considering it. I have an Amazon wish list. If you wanted me to build something and you get to pick what that is instead of me building from my backlog of cool shit that I have, well, you can buy something from my Amazon wish list, and then I will receive the thing. I will shoot a video about what you bought, and then I will build that. So, like, if you bought something on my wish list and it arrived via Amazon Prime, and I got it in 2 days, as soon as the crossbone was done, I would then move on to the thing you bought. I have inexpensive Lego kits. I've got more expensive kits. I just put the Hello Kitty Harapla kit because that's just a cute. It's Haro, but Hello Kitty. I think that's cute. I put that on my list just recently. Inexpensive high grades, very expensive high grades, kits that keep going on sale, which is great, or they jump between the different prices. They're always trying to keep it low. That offer free shipping, but not Amazon free shipping, so it'll take longer. Yeah, like I said, inexpensive kits, very expensive kits, stuff that keeps jumping in price all the time, and I try to keep up with it and keep it organized. Equipment on the bottom, but like I said, you buy something, I'll shoot a video about it. It'll jump the queue. That's the least I can do. Alternatively, and we'll get into building very soon. I'm almost done plugging my shit. USA Gundam Store. I don't have a wish list on there, but if you buy a gift card, you can then email me you can DM me on Twitter with the code that you got in your email. And then I'll buy something on USA Gundam Store. That's an alternative to Amazon. It's just nice to have that alternative. Occasionally, some people will buy something with that. They'll buy a gift card, which I appreciate. Okay, for free. We mentioned it at the top of the stream. I have a Discord. You can join the Discord for free. That's a way to support me without spending any money. I post videos on there that I make, so you also see the links there, so you don't have to follow me on Twitter if you don't want to be on Twitter. Hey, don't be on Twitter if you can avoid it. But also people post stuff they're working on, which is very cool, and I appreciate it very much. Let's see. I've got a couple videos for you to check out. We're going to get building. If you missed my last Pat Bear's Anime Club, I used Tier Maker to rank all 11 currently running in this season isekai. There are 11 isekai this season. And so the last Pat Bear's Anime Club was talking about all 11, and I used Tier Maker to rank them. I will have a new episode up on Monday, so check in for that. And then, Best of Build with Baer. Best of Build with Baer is me taking clips from these streams, from my video game streams, from my building streams, just a clip that I think is fun. I slap on some closed captions and on them because it's nice to be able to offer that, and I put them up on YouTube. If you ever see something that you think is really fun, hey, the Ja just cheered 25 bits. Thank you so much for that, the Ja. Thank you for that support. Appreciate that. Bits and coins, always appreciated. Thank you for that. And now you are at the top of the leaderboard for bits for the month of June, which is cool. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Best of Build with Baer. If you ever see something that you think was a great moment, hit the clip button. The clip that button there. Just clip it. I try to do that if I think I've stumbled into something that's fun and silly, because it's a lot easier for me to download that clip in the Twitch backend than it is for me to scrub through an hour and 50-minute long video trying to find that one thing because I remembered 20 minutes into a thing. Oh, that's pretty funny. I'll do that. I do need to do that because I forgot to clip anything, and I think there's something fun in the last Wednesday's stream. I think Wednesday's stream had something fun in it in the Pokemon, but I don't know, so I'm gonna like scrub through that. Uh, yeah, I just know there's some moment in there that would be fun, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, thank you so much for all that. We're gonna get back to building now. It's time to get back into building. I'm gonna talk about some anime that I watched, and then we're gonna get into and drink a little water, and then we're gonna get into this here. Um, and as always, thanks for being here. We got another 40-ish minutes, 45 minutes left in the stream, so we're not done. Just the breather is done. All right. Nice. Water. Water. Pretty great. Oh, we've had a few dropped frames over the stream I didn't even notice, which it's good that I didn't notice, but it's bad that we had it. E and E, okay. I'll put some of the E here, working on the shoulders. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about 4 anime shows that I watched. I will say right off the bat, one of them is like a minute long, kind of goofy little series, and the other is another show that was a recap. It was episode 6.5, not episode 7, which is kind of a bummer, but there was something that was interesting about it. So we'll get to that in a minute. But first, let's talk about I Tsushima, or which is also called Ore Tsushima, but we're going to go with I Tsushima, which is about a photorealistic looking cat, wild cat who moves in to a house with an old lady that is drawn in like a blob, like watercolor, weird style. Why they're opposing art styles, I don't know, but there are. Anyway, in the first part of this episode, our cat, our hero Tsushima, um, sees that Osamu, who is a neighborhood cat, is coming by for food. And Tsushima is like, I'm vowing to protect the owner. I'm going to protect this owner here. I'll never let anything happen to the owner. And while Tsushima is saying that, he is accidentally hurting the owner by scratching the owner's back. But he doesn't. He's all worked up and doesn't realize he's doing that. Oh. And then later, the owner is planning to go out of town, but doesn't. But the cat's like, what do you mean? You're abandoning us? Where are you going? It's like, don't worry, I have a cat sitter. And the cat sitter is immediately just like, ooh, this cat is great. And the cat, and Tsushima is already immediately just like, oh, hello. And then the owner gets very mad and refers to the cat sitter as a home wrecker, which I thought was just very cute. Again, it's a small little series. I'm literally watching it on the official YouTube channel. They just subtitle it in English by hitting the closed caption button. It's very weird because they have web animations, which are just like extra stories, and then they have the official animation, which is on TV in Japan, but is also available. Nobody picked it up, so it's just available on their website legally, and that's fun. It's fun to watch a show, an anime, legally on YouTube. It's just like a weird thing that he's like, yeah, you can just watch it. The international folks can watch it. What do they care? I don't know. It's strange. I like that. It's a cute little show. Um, let's see. My next life as a villainess, all routes lead to Doom X, which is AKA season 2 of My Next Life as a Villainess. This episode was fucking weird. This was a very weird episode of My Next Life as a Villainess. Basic premise of the show, if you haven't kept up with it, girl gets isekai'd, but the interesting thing is she's isekai'd into a dating game as the villainess of the piece. The first season was very plot heavy. It was about her like changing things and trying to survive, knowing that doom was, at every corner. And all, as said, the title, all routes lead to doom. But she survived and thrived, and she changed the story as she went by just being herself and being her kind of silly, goofy, lovely self. She changed things for the better and opened up the possibility space. Uh, and kind of like, yeah, changed things. Now we're in season two, which is like, it's very clear that the first season was a let's adapt the major plot of this, and now it's like that was a very popular show. Let's continue to just do episodes. So there've been like a larger context of like the main character, a character that's in this episode, Larna, who is secretly the sorry okay, she's secretly the fiance of one of the princes, but that's not said in the show, or the other characters don't know that she is secretly the princess. They just think she's in charge of the magic club. She finds this magic tool, this like mysterious magic tool, and then we see Raphael, who was the secret villain of the first season, is there because he now works for them. He's been rehabilitated, and also Sora, who was formerly known as, oops, oh no, dropped a piece. Now I have to find the piece. Weird. All right, I can feel it bounce. There it is. I found it. Hooray! Dark blue on a light gray carpet. Luckily, anyway, you may remember Sora by the name Rufus. He was the guy that took part in the kidnapping of our hero Katarina. He now also works for the Magic Ministry of Defense under Larna. Uh, and Rufus, honestly, Rufus and Raphael have a lot in common. He's also formerly known as Cirrus. But yeah, they have a lot in common, and they're like kind of lamenting the fact that their boss like doesn't isn't around enough and doesn't do enough work. But she's there because Katarina and gang show up to kind of visit this. They're visiting because maybe Maria and Katarina are going to go and work there after school's over. They think maybe they're going to end up working there. Um, Katarina has weird, like, she doesn't really have much magic, but people really like her. She's got weird, like, people are like drawn to her. And Maria has very rare light healing magic, so they would be psyched to have her there. So yeah, they're kind of like checking things out, and of course all their crew is also hanging out there. Keep an eye out because Sora did put the moves on Katarina, so everyone's just like on edge about him. But they're not enough on edge about the fact that there is. Oh, also, Anne, the maid, is there. Anne is Katarina's maid, uh, and she is a loyal servant. She is there, um, and they're like, "Hey, check out this cool magic device," which Katarina just like activates, and then everybody in the harem just gets sucked into some sort a different room in this mystical dollhouse, which apparently grants you your wish and desire. If you wanted to change your world into another one, you live in this dream state inside of this dollhouse, and those things are fulfilled. And there are 9 rooms, and 8 of them get sucked in. Uh, so Rufus and not Rufus, sorry, Raphael and Anne are like, we're going in. We're gonna go get everybody out. They do see a few of the dreams because you can look through the windows of the dollhouse and see the dreams. Let's see. We got Alan is a bird, and then Nicholas is a cat, and Sophia. Uh, didn't this happen in season 1 in the library study session? So Dirty. In season 1, there is a magic book that they get sucked into. Yes, but they all get sucked into the same world, or Katarina gets sucked into a world. It's a whole thing. But yes, the book. This is similar. But this one is you're like this one is like a wacky world version. Like, what if you can get your whole world changed a little bit and it's just a wackier version? But it is very similar to something that happened in season one. You're not wrong. Um, let's see, 16 and 16 is the front, 19 is back. Um, so we see a peaks in the world, but everybody, and oh yeah, so Sophia is like she's a fairy, and everyone's story involves Katarina. Everybody's story is just like he's a cat, so we can come and like visit Katarina and sit in her lap, and like uh let's see, what else do we see? Oh yeah, Jordo is a swashbuckler on the seas, the tall seas, like so he doesn't have it to be like a prince, his princely duties, but also, of course, he's out there with Katarina as his bride, because of course, um, and they mention Mary, Maria, and Keith's dreams, but we don't see them at that point. Don't worry, we will see them. Oh, also, Katarina's dream doesn't involve anyone. Everyone's dream involves like her. Her dream is she's eating snacks alone, like Japanese snacks, and no one bothers her, and she can stay in her night clothes all day. That's her dream. Her fantasy there is just like to not be bothered. Um, anyway, like I said, Anne starts entering different rooms trying to save them. And we see that Maria, the sweet girl who is the main character of the Otome game, but obviously not the main character of this story, uh, she's like, she wishes she had like bigger muscles so that she could like make more sweets for everyone. And it's very weird and very unexpected that the thing that she would want would just to be like have like a huge muscle body and then just like her regular head. It's very weird. Um, uh, it is unexpected. Um, Mary's dream, she's like a nobleman and she like whisks Katarina off her feet, and that is not strange because she is clearly in love with Katarina. So that dream is not weird. Um, but yeah, Anne is popping between the different realms, and then Anne finds the weirdest one, which is Keith's dream. Because Keith's dream is, what if instead of me being a little brother, I was a little sister? So they just gender swap all the characters, and uh, it's very weird. Um, because you can tell which male characters in the show are voiced by female voiceover artists, because the ones that aren't, the ones that like a dude plays a dude when they're now playing a lady, they have to like pitch up their voice and the women don't have to worry about it when they're now playing a lady. But yeah, everyone just like gender swaps, and it's kind of fun because they're wearing like similar costumes to what they wore in their other personality. It's very short, but it is weird to see. Um, anyway, Katarina is the only person of this group that like wakes up from the fantasy that they're living in, because, as I said, her fantasy is that she just is she's got like some alone time and doesn't have to worry about anybody. But Anne's not there, and she needs Anne. She cares about Anne, and she's like, where is she? So she like realizes like, wait, I'm in this dollhouse. Also, she has a real good sense of like understanding dark magic. She has no clue why she can do that, but she's been pretty good about recognizing dark magic before, which this is. So she's just like, okay, I got to get out of here. So she finds the real Anne, and they're like, okay, we need to find Raphael, and then we got to find this doll. There's a doll somewhere in this house, and if we put that doll to sleep, then the magic will end. So we got to find this mystical doll that's out there somewhere. So they're going to go look for. Well, it turns out there was an empty room that that our friend Raphael went into, and he got taken over very quickly. His world, in his perfect world, um, he just works a nine. He works his 9 to 5 job, and he doesn't have to do overtime, and no one's and everything works great, and everyone's happy. And he does not want to give up that fantasy world. He's just like, I don't have to sleep at my desk. I can go home to my family and everything works great. And you just like, I don't know. In that moment, I really felt for him. I'm like, oh, yeah, man. I hear you, dude. I get that. Y'all need to unionize. But instead, he's just like, yeah, I don't want to leave this world. But Katarina does what she does best, which is just be like, No, you need to be in the real world. There are people out there that will miss you. I'll miss you. I want everyone to be together. And she's just like very honest and earnest and lovely, as is her way. And she like wakes him up. And then of course the doll is there, and the doll attacks. Uh, Once again, she does not get the credit she deserves. Katarina saves the day by sneaking up behind this doll and taking the clockwork key out of the back of it, thus putting the doll to sleep. And everyone comes out. And Anne knows everybody's business and won't say anything because she's a good maid. Uh, and that's the end of the episode. And it was weird. Harold's now hosting the stream. Thank you, Harold. But yeah, this episode of My Next Life as a Villainess was really strange, and I don't know what the fuck. Like, I was very surprised by it. Ooh, that's the wrong H4 is what I need. That's the wrong piece. Um, but yeah, it was a real strange episode uh, of that. So yeah, Harold, welcome, welcome. Yeah, season two has been real weird because there's not like a huge through line. There were like a couple episodes that were the same story, but we haven't like halfway through the season. There's not like a big bad. There's just like the ongoing adventures, and it's been kind of weird. But that's what happens when you adapt a monthly story. Releases of a chapter every month, uh, manga and that's an ongoing, and you adapt it into an anime. Like you don't get those perfect seasons. So yeah, that's been kind of weird, but it's still good. I still really like the show. It's just like weird. Anyway, Remake Our Life, which is one of my favorite shows this season, didn't have a full episode this week. It just had it was episode 6.5. It was a recap, but there's an important thing that I didn't realize because the first episode was long and I didn't quite understand everything. In the first episode, they talked about the what was it? What are they called? The Platinum Generation, who are these like incredible people that went to the school that now Kyoya is going to. That he really appreciated later in life, like their accomplishments, their music accomplishments. So we know that two of his roommates are members of the Platinum Generation, and I forgot that it was only three people. So that leads me. Look, if the Platinum Generation is just three people, and two out of the three people are two out of his three roommates, because fate and magic and time travel happened, it is reasonable to believe that Tsurayaki, who is the fourth roommate, is the third member of the Platinum Generation, which I was wondering if he was, but this is like pretty much like, yeah, I mean, there's only three of them. It's got to be him. So he's got to be the third member, which makes sense because there was a whole thing of like a short film that was based on an idea that Kyoya had, which was actually an idea he remembered as a short story from somebody who is Tsuruyoki. So it was like, okay, that makes sense. Also, there's more of the music from the show, which is era appropriate. And I know I've talked about this a bunch, but it fucking kicks ass. This show is set in the year 2000. Most of the show is set in the year 2006, and it's 18-year-olds in 2006. So a girl, her karaoke favorite is the first theme to Rurouni Kenshin. It's like perfect. And then it's the year 2006, and she's been uploading videos to the Japanese like web sharing sites, which is just starting at those era. So of course she's doing covers. So of course she does a popular cover, God Knows, from the Melancholy of Haruki, which was a very popular song to cover because anime nerds loved it because it's a kick-ass song. And so she sings that, and like they license that song, and it's just unheard of. Generally, when you go like Welcome to Demon School, Irmakun has an episode where they go and do karaoke, and they sing the theme song to the first season of Welcome to Demon School. And they have original songs they wrote, but like they didn't write an original song for that episode. Most of the time, it's like they make up stuff, or it's like, oh, it just so happens that this girl sings traditional songs, so she found like a traditional Japanese song to sing. So it's so weird that they have like licensed music and including like songs that kick ass. Like, it's just cool. So anyway, I was reminded of that, and I thought that was really awesome. Um, but again, this is just a recapped episode, uh, which also like makes sense because, like I said, the first episode of the show was 50 minutes instead of the usual. So like they got, you know, they did a lot more work than other shows. So I'm not super opposed to it being that, but I do like the show a lot. And I will say, episode 6 ended on a pretty big cliffhanger where a character was introduced who introduced herself as Tsuruyuki's fiance, which was news to everyone. So like that was kind of a big thing. So it would be like I'm kind of been interested in like what the fuck, dude? What's up? Is it a childhood friend and like an arranged marriage because you are from a long line of like doctors? And is that it? Or is it like you promised her when you were a kid you would get married someday and she's held you to that, but that was just like the promise of a little kid? Uh, I don't know what it is, but did you actually propose and you like went to art school because she was disappointed? So you just like left without saying anything? Like, what's the deal? So there's a lot of questions about that that I'm interested in seeing the answers to, which I can't see the answers to because we didn't get a full episode. But we did get a full episode of how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom. Um, there is an in-depth explainer of this world and the magic in the world at the beginning of this. There are basically a bunch of different kinds of elemental magic. There's light magic, which is basically just healing magic. And then darkness describes every kind of magic that doesn't involve the elements or healing. It's just a blanket thing for dark magic. It's basically just like a catch-all. It doesn't necessarily mean like evil or manipulating magic. Like our dude Soma can manipulate inanimate objects to do things as long as he is like they're near him, which he uses to write, to possess pens, or in another case, to possess a giant ninja costume that is there's no one inside it, and he operates it like it is a human, which he does in this episode. So we get that whole explanation. But yeah, depending on your skills, you're either sent to the land, sea, air, or you're in the King's Forbidden Army, except for healing magic. If you use healing magic, that's spread out between all of them. But like, yeah, if you use fire magic, you go hang out in the land. If you use uh, uh, wind magic, you go into the sky group. If you use water magic, if you use earth magic, which you think would be the land, but apparently earth magic is the Forbidden Army's magic. Uh, Again, also, I don't know why they call the King's Army the Forbidden Army. Literally, that should be a red flag that something's up if you call one of your armies the Forbidden Army. I don't know what that fucking means. They have not explained it. They have not made it seem like it's a big deal. But to me, it does sound like a big deal. But again, haven't got into that. Maybe maybe we'll discover what the fuck that means at some point. 24 is this anyway? Uh, so uh, so yeah, so Soma is like practicing his magic. He also wants to get like a sense of the dungeons. He might want to do something in one of the dungeons at some point. The undercity elements. He just kind of wants to get a sense of that, and also kind of like it's very clear. Also, he has this ninja costume thing to go and hang out because he it's fun to be an adventurer. Like he got isekai to a magic world, but he's the king, so he doesn't get to like do cool shit. So he's like, "Oh, we'll do that." Um, Later, he's thanks to many people working for him because they got the funds for a big project that he wants to do, and this big project is we're going to build a new port city, and everyone's like, "But we already have a port city." And he's like, "Yeah, but all of the cities aren't connected well. So if we build a new city, we have to build roads, and we can build roads between all the major cities, and it'll be a hub, and then we can control the distribution of goods so that we can keep prices reasonable because that way if there's a product in one area that is insufficient, we can easily get it to other areas." Like this whole fucking show is like lessons in basic economy from a dude who like did a guy who was probably going to go into civil service if he had not been isekai, uh, and that's a lot of this. So he wants to build a new city, so they go head out to go check it out and see the project. But apparently, some people are like, "But the kaijin will hate that," and they're like, "What do you mean about what are you talking about?" They're like, "The sea god," and so then Soma has to ask, like, he has to be like, "Hey, like, it's this world. I don't know. Is there a sea god?" And they're like, "Not as far as we know." But they're saying, well, if you build stuff in this area on this coast, the sea god will get mad and they will send a disaster, a national disaster. Uh, a monster will come and sweep everything away, and then they realize, oh shit, they mean a tsunami. There have been tsunamis, and tsunamis. If a tsunami comes, it would definitely wipe away stuff from that area. So they're like, oh, okay, well, we'll just move it to a different spot. And also, because he knows, hey, a tsunami is generally an indication that there was that happens right after there's an earthquake. So if the ground ever shakes because of an earthquake, evacuate and go to higher ground and tell all the people on the coast. So I imagine at some point there will be an earthquake and it will be that response will prove wise or whatever. And that's basically the episode. There's no cliffhanger this episode. There are often cliffhangers. The cliffhanger before the last episode was just like, "Hey, we have news," and that news was we did all the math we needed to do. Um, there's another thing about the show that I like, which is he's a realist, but he's also a thing. He's not just like dead inside. I'm a mathematician or like I'm a practical guy. He's still a dude that has like thoughts and feelings. Um, and he was like, "Yeah, I was sleep deprived, so I kind of ran my mouth because he gave this like stirring speech about all these people that helped him like shore up the budget and figure out like where there was corruption and all that. He's just like, your names will not be recorded in history, but you are the secret protectors of your country. You did this for your countrymen and for your families, and I cannot offer you medals because that would be impractical, but I can give you bottles of wine to take, drink as you see fit, cheer to your success." And he gives this like very stirring speech, which is just like, you went overboard. It was like, yeah, I got swept up in it. I'm real tired. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just moments like that that I really like. That he's practical, but he still is like a dude that's psyched about adventure. I don't know. Realist Hero is a fun isekai. Like, yes, it's a harem. Yes, there's some intrigue stuff. Like, it's a harem in so much so that at the very moment there are multiple women that would like to marry the king. Which is like, yeah, okay. I will say this: they introduced a cute, fun young lady who is a demon, not a demon. She's a beast girl who can communicate with any kind of animal and also demons. Which she's the first person they've ever met that can communicate with demons. And I was like, oh, this character is going to be really important. She has not been in an episode since she was introduced, like episode 3 or something, maybe 4. She has not been in an episode. And I would love to know more about that young character because she seems neat. That's my only complaint with the show so far, which is just like a different kind of isekai, but I've enjoying it. Is I like, hey, more about that girl. What's up with that girl? I forget her name because she's only been in a couple episodes. All right. Now's the part of the stream. This is an important part of the stream, folks. I need you to tell me what you've been watching, what you've been playing, what you've been doing. I'm playing Boyfriend Dungeon, and look, there's a discussion about Boyfriend Dungeon that is happening right now that I am not qualified to discuss and don't feel interested. Actually, don't want to talk about the broader discussion on what constitutes a content warning and what should be excluded, and if subjects that are tough should be included or excluded from a plot if they are quote unquote important to the story. These are big questions. That's some brought in some experts, Waypoint Radio ass discussion, and I am not prepared for those things, except I love the idea that, hey, there's a thing in this story where you could get like the idea of a content warning of like, hey, we put this thing in where sometimes your mom will write you letters of encouragement. We know for some people they would love to not see that. So if you don't want to see that, click here. And I think that's great. The larger element of uh hey, there's a character who sucks, and but defeating this character is part of a self-actualization, and we think we did a pretty good job with that. But if you don't think we did a good job with that, you don't have to do it. Is interesting. Harold says my power just went out for a second. Oh, that sucks. I hope that was a weird glitch and not anything else, Harold. So I'm hoping for you that things are cool. Lord Crashens is playing Axiom Verge 2, which is very good so far. Hell yeah. I didn't love Axiom Verge, but I also don't particularly care about Metroid. I like Samus as a character. I like Samus in Smash Brothers, but I've never been a Metroid person. I kind of liked Metroid Prime, the first Metroid Prime. But yeah, it's just never been my thing. So I need a 30. But I'm glad you're enjoying Axiom Verge. Um, yeah, I've always been more of a Castlevania than a Metroid fan. That's just my thing. And early Castlevanias, not necessarily some later Castlevanias. This one is a bit more focused on exploration instead of combat. Ooh, that's fun to hear. That's cool. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Um, let's say do the same thing on the opposite side. Flip it over. I think that means flip it over. I don't know what that means. Or is it or? Ooh, it's or. Okay. I think this arrow means do one or the other and then slap it on there. I think that's what they're saying. Okay, well, if it's one or the other, I'm going to do the easier one. I'm going to do the one I already popped out. I think that's what they're saying. Okay, yeah. Well, I'll do both and then decide which I like better. I think that's what they're saying. Okay. Sorry, folks. That took me a second to figure out like what the fuck was being asked of me here. Looks like we got some options for the back part of the skit. Um, but yeah, I've been playing Boyfriend Dungeon, which I like. I will be starting from scratch on it on Wednesday. I'll be playing from the very beginning on Wednesday as my Wednesday bonus stream. But I have been playing a bit of it, just gotta try it out and get a sense of what's going on with it. Um, the only other thing I've been really heavily doing is rewatching a lot of. It's just a good thing to have on. I'm currently downloading dot hack GU so I can play it tomorrow. Hell yeah, Dirty. That sounds great. Um, I've just been also downloading, or sorry, watching a bunch of in the background, going through all the seasons of Taskmaster and just going through them again. Now that I know more about the character, know more about the comedians and stuff. Also, by watching a bunch of Taskmaster, I get recommendations for some of the comics in Taskmaster in my Google recommendations, and so I'm watching stand up of people that I didn't know before, and that's been fucking cool. Um, I need to start that game since the word crashed. Yeah. Um, Harold says I can see chat, but video's not connecting. Oh, well, that's a shame. I don't know. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Harold. I got kind of irritated when I went to go find in my library because it was listed under the H's instead of the beginning of the library in the dot. Oh, it was under hack, not dot hack. Well, hey, Dirty, I will say this. At least it wasn't listed as uh, starting with D. You know, it wasn't like the D and dot. Uh, but yes, I can see that being confusing and annoying. That is annoying. All right, yeah. So I don't know which backplate we're gonna do. So we're gonna build all four, and then we'll just decide which one we like more. And Harold, you watch this after the fact. I hope you get connected. We only have a little bit of the stream left, so I do hope that you do get to connect so you can hang out. But hopefully everything's gonna work out okay for you that way. All right. So then 21 is this one. fair. But yeah, I've been sounds this sounds unlike a library to not count the dot. Yeah, that is weird. I mean, that's just somebody who like doesn't understand what the dot in dot hack means, I guess. So they just labeled it under hack. Um, but that is strange. Yeah, so I've been watching a bunch of stand up from cool comics and like dipping my toes into other shows because some of those comics have other like shows on British television that have clips on American television or not America on YouTube, and so I'm like kind of dipping my toes into those things, kind of seeing what's up. Uh, Also, a pet peeve when I go to find something, but it winds up under the T's because it starts with the. Yeah, dirty. The should not be a part of it. It should be the whole title, comma the, and it's weird when it's not. I agree with you. Uh, I'm personal opinion. Yes, it should be. Um, yeah, that is always a weird thing when they do that. So I, in my capacity, agree with you fully. Um, let's see. All right. So which ones do we like? Let's see. I'm gonna put one of each on the back, and then we'll kind of like. Oh, I would have to. I have to put the things on and share it. So let's see. Do we like thick or thin? We'll do one of each, and then I will pop it off and F23, F23. Kind of look at it and see. The has to be the library world's most divisive topic. I would agree, Lord Crafton, because it's just like, yeah, is if you're looking up the Dungeon of Black Company, which is a show that I'm not currently watching because I didn't think it looked interesting, but that is an anime that's out right now. If you're watching the Dungeon of Black Company, is it under T or is it under D? In my opinion, it's under D, but in some people's opinion, it is under T, and I don't want to deal with that. Okay, so hmm. I think I like. Okay, so we have this kind of like this is cut out portion on the back here, or we have the more solid version. I think I like the more solid version because it's basically the same as like this is the other back. It's basically the same as the front. So I think I like the back better, the chunkier back. So I think we're gonna go in the chunkier. Gonna start a non-protest protest about the this a la PCU where we all chant, "We're not gonna protest." Yes, indeed. Blackthorn, the Dungeon of. Well, that's probably taking it a little. It should, yeah. That might be taking it too far. Um, Look, here's a real thing. If it's your personal library, if it's your personal collection, if it's your media collection, you do whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a shit. You could be one of the people. If you wanted to be one of the people that has a bunch of books and you organize those books by genre, or you organize those books by color of the cover, like the of the binding, you could be one of those folks. I don't give a shit. Uh, you could do release date of movies and be like, here are all my DVDs starting in 19 whatever and ending in 2020 something. And you just do it like that and just go chronological. You live your best life. You do it how you want to do it. I don't got a problem with that at all. Uh, to me, that's just like live your best life in that regard. Uh, and that'll be cool. Uh, Also, I watched Jason X to celebrate the reason for the season yesterday. Okay. I've watched Jason X twice. I watched it once because it was on like HBO or something years ago, and then I watched it with a group of people, and I get that. Um, all right, we have officially completed a lot of this fucking high grade. Or sorry, master grade. What I'm saying, it's a master grade, but we got a lot of progress done today. Uh, Jason X is the one in space with Lexa doing right. Yeah, Jason X is the one in space. Yes, um, it is the space Jason, but it's the one in space. But also they have a holodeck. It's weird. They don't call it a holodeck, but they have a holodeck basically. Um, Okay, so we completed the head and the chest previously. We did all of the arms and we did the waist. It's weird that we built the waist before we built the legs, but that's what we did here. So now Monday stream, it's going to be leg day on Monday, and we're going to start with the feet and the ankle and work all the way up to the frames. We'll do the leg frames. We'll do the left leg, the right leg. Um, oh, one thing we didn't do was put stickers on the front of this. I just realized we did the shoulders here, but I forgot that we have to put stickers on the front pieces. So we will do that. And that'll be the last thing we do today is stickers. It's this symbol. Yeah. We got to put this sticker. Basically, we are covering up these little indents because the Ver.ka doesn't have them, and instead it has this sticker. So we have to like place a big sticker over it, right? Yeah. Gonna double check that that's the symbol we want. Yes. Do I like this sticker? Not particularly. Will I put it on? Sure, why not? Wait. Oh, I'm doing the wrong sticker. Um, Two of my favorite Jason kills are in that movie. It's dumb as hell, but I love it. Yeah, I agree that I also think that it is dumb as hell, and I remember appreciating it. Uh, I wonder why I didn't like how that sticker looked. I was putting the wrong sticker on. That's what I'm saying. This kit is like 2 years away from them just numbering instead of symbols, and for an American like myself, much easier just be like, okay, sticker 7, great, not sticker this particular symbol that means something that might also mean 7, but I don't know, and that's my own ignorance, and I'll admit that. But also, it is easier. All right, so yeah, so we got 2 stickers on there. I don't love those stickers, but whatever. Uh, and we are done with our stream. So we are gonna raid. Um, so I hope you will come with me on this raid. What's happening, Pat, right now? What are you doing? Well, we're gonna go hang out with somebody out there who is streaming. Somebody I know, most likely they are West Coaster, doing some cool shit, and we're gonna go hang out with them and see what they're up to. And I would love for you to come along on this raid. Um, uh, because I follow cool people and I want you to go and hang out with those cool people. So let's see who we got here. Who's doing stuff? Um, uh, we haven't rated Adam in a long time. Thank you and good night. Well, thank you, Dirty. Thanks for being here. We're gonna go raid Adam Conover, old friend of mine, Adam Conover of many College Humor productions now, in him ruining everything. But I knew him first when he was in the seminal sketch group Old English. So I have known Adam for quite some time. Adam is playing Demon Souls in his first playthrough, part 13, I guess. So we're gonna go give Adam a raid. So feel free to come along on this. Adam is just like a great dude, and I'm excited to go give him a raid. So feel free to come along on this. I hope you have a good rest of your night, your Saturday. I hope you will come check me out tomorrow. Sorry, on Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, as we get into feet and legs for this beautiful looking kit. I hope to see you in the future. Thanks so much. Have a great night. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.